All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 3 of VeVe Investments. I appreciate all the support thus far. As for episode 3, guys, we're going to be talking about 3 patterns. See what I did there? Haha. 3 patterns on the VeVe app to recognize. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe. And guys, turn on that notification bell. That way you guys are notified every time I upload. As for episode 3, guys, Lego. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Sorry. All right. Good song. First thing we're going to talk about, guys, is going to be gem squeezes. Now, for those of you guys who do not know what a gem squeeze is, essentially what it is people will start to sell off certain collectibles in the secondary market in anticipation for drops. So making sure that they have enough gems in their wallet for the drop itself, or if they can't get it on the actual drop, then they can participate in the secondary market to buy it up. So what you guys are looking at on screen right now is going to be an example of a Medium article. Let's assume that you guys are a day one on VeVe. You guys haven't participated on a drop yet. Let's walk you through step by step exactly how a gem squeeze will unfold. So essentially what's going to happen is VeVe is going to announce the drop on their social media platforms. The main one that I'm going to pay attention to, or the main ones, is going to be Twitter and Instagram. And in the description of that post, they're going to give you the date of the drop that week. Now, typically, not always, but typically it's going to be about 24 hours the day before the drop where they're going to release the Medium article, which is what you guys are looking at on screen. And in this Medium article, it's going to break down the drop. So it's going to give you a description. If it's a piece of artwork, it'll talk a little bit about the artist. And then as you guys can see, the list price, edition numbers, things like that. Everything that you need to know pretty much. Kind of similar to that of a movie trailer. It's going to give you a preview of everything that you need to know regarding that drop. Now, essentially what's going to happen, guys, is the first gem squeeze will often take place when the drop is announced to begin with on socials. So the reason why I included the AF15 Medium article on screen right now is because that was probably the best example of the most recent big drop that happened on the app, where you started to see a lot of gem squeezes happening in the secondary market. Darth Vader was a really good example of this, going from like 2,400 gems to, I think it was like 1,700. But what's going to happen originally, guys, is when that drop gets announced on socials, you're going to start seeing people sell off their collectibles in the secondary market to make sure that they have enough gems in their wallet to participate for the drop. Now, the Medium article is what tells you how many gems you need to have for the drop, which hasn't technically been released yet when they announce it on socials, which is why you're going to see a second gem squeeze typically happen when the Medium article is released, where people really know, the details, how many editions there's going to be, and how much they actually need to have in their wallet. And again, isn't necessarily just for the drop, it's so that people have hundreds of dollars in their wallets for the secondary market as well. I mean, I saw huge gem balances for the AF15 drop that people were preparing for just to scoop up a bunch of commons afterwards. That would be an example of a gem squeeze. That's how it unfolds, guys. Collectibles, the prices, the floor prices of those collectibles will drop prior to big drops on the app. So this is actually a time where I like scooping up things on the app. So prior to the AF15 drop, I grabbed a couple collectibles that had dropped in price. So that's going to be our first one. Moving on to the second one, we're going to talk about drop delivery times. So what happens is when a drop sells out prior to the drop, about 30 minutes before to about 30 minutes after the drop, the market's going to close. Now, long term, this isn't going to be a goal for the team. They're going to want the market open 24/7. However, the reason why this happened at first is because, there's a certain amount of time that the team needs in order to deliver these drops to accounts after they sell the drop out. So what you're going to want to do, guys, is go to the home page of the app. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on the drop that just sold out and scroll right down to the edition sizes. Okay. What you're going to see is you're going to see a certain number of the remaining editions that have been delivered to accounts. And what that's going to tell you is it's going to tell you the amount of collectibles that have yet been delivered to remaining accounts. So unfortunately, it's a little unfair in my opinion. Some people who get their collectibles delivered earlier have the opportunity to post it on the secondary market before people who, obviously have not gotten their drops delivered yet. And what that gives those individuals is the opportunity to sell their collectibles and take a profit, and typically a higher profit. So what I'll do is I'll use the Givenchy Pride 1 as an example. When I went for that drop, you know, I heard Givenchy was getting announced on VeVe. I was like, oh my God, I need this. I went for the drop, I missed it. In fact, I actually didn't even go for Pride. I went for the Amelia Earhart card, and I didn't get it. But I went for, you know, any pieces I pretty much could in the secondary market, and I ended up buying the very, very first Pride 1 on the secondary market for 405 gems. And what ended up happening is it dropped to 180, right? So I FOMO'd in. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to shoot up. I hadn't had too much experience with the app at that point. And, you know, what ended up happening was a majority of the people hadn't had their drops delivered yet, or their pieces delivered. And so they hadn't had that opportunity to post it on the secondary market and take a profit. And so what I'm getting at, guys, is, you know, keep an eye out for this in the secondary market, and make sure that you guys aren't scooping up collectibles at a higher price than what they're going to drop down to. I know it's kind of hard to predict that kind of stuff, but a long story short, I never purchase collectibles in the secondary market right after the drop anymore. What I kind of do is I wait a day or two to kind of let the prices level out and settle, and then I kind of make my moves from there. But yeah, that's going to be our second pattern, guys. Keep an eye on the addition numbers while drops are being delivered. That way you guys aren't scooping up collectibles in the secondary market at much higher prices than what they're actually going to be listed at. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about sell walls. So this is going to be something you're generally going to see in the secondary market from time to time. So yeah, you click on a collectible and you see pretty much one person's profile who has posted a collectible, you know, a dozen of them at one price. So let's take the left-hand photo as an example. What you're going to see circled in green is going to be that sell wall. So you can see here, Princess Nala, a little shout out to that person. They posted the Daisy Duck collectible. I mean, they posted 1, 2, 3, 4. They posted 8 of them at 46 gems. Now, the intention behind this person, guys, is actually to drive the floor price of this collectible down, okay? They're not trying to sell off 8 collectibles. What they're trying to do is the profile circled above that sell wall, that individual looks at that sell wall and goes, okay, I don't want to wait for 8 people to buy up this collectible at 46 gems. I'm just going to undercut it by a gem. I'm going to post it for 45 and hope somebody scoops up mine before they scoop up, you know, Princess Nala's. Now, what she's trying to do is she's trying to drive the floor price of that collectible down so that she can actually scoop up that collectible at a discounted price. So what you're going to see is she'll post that sell wall at 46 gems. Then next thing you know, there's somebody else who posts it at 45, then 44, then 43, then 42, and she scoops up all of them. So same example in the second photo and the third. All of these guys are trying to drive the floor price of the collectible down so they can scoop up more, stack more of that said collectible at a discounted price. So guys, that concludes episode 3. I know it's a little bit of a shorter video, but those are 3 patterns that you guys can start to pick up and recognize in the VeVe app. Again, just to summarize, point 1 is going to be gem squeezes, where people kind of drive the floor price of that collectible down just to make sure that they have enough gems in their wallet to participate for drops or in the secondary market after the drop sells out. Point 2 is going to be talking about how deliveries take time to fulfill for drops, so making sure that you don't FOMO into higher prices before the prices, you know, start to recorrect and settle. And then the third point, guys, is going to be sell walls. So understanding why somebody's going to post, you know, a dozen of one collectible, and that's because they're going to be wanting to drive the floor price of that collectible down to scoop up more, stack more of that said piece. As for episode 3, guys, that concludes the video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to comment down below what you guys want to see in future videos. As for episode 4, I'll see you on Thursday.